AutoZone is a great example of a company that looks defensive, because people always need car parts, but still trades on earnings quality, margin structure, and the pace of share repurchases. Let's start with the present. Your chart shows an actual price around $3,663, and that lines up with what just happened after earnings. The stock sold off about 6% following fiscal Q2 results. The key point is that the sell-off wasn't a collapse in demand, it was a confidence reset. Sales were a touch below expectations, and management pointed to an unusually cold and snowy winter weighing on traffic. Now look at the valuation anchors. Your normal band is about 17x, fair value about 15x. For AutoZone, that spread is basically the difference between steady compounder with strong capital returns and the market is nervous about margins or the consumer. And right now the market reaction is largely about margins. AutoZone reported EPS of $27.63, slightly above expectations but down versus last year, and gross margin was pressured by a non-cash LIFO charge, which investors still treat as a real signal because it affects reported profitability. Now the past lessons. The biggest investor mistake with AutoZone is assuming it should always trade at the same premium multiple. In strong periods, when same-store sales are solid and margins are stable, AutoZone can look almost bulletproof because it's a category leader and it's been a relentless buyer of its own stock. But when something hits margins, whether it's mix, wage pressure, or accounting impacts like LIFO, valuation can compress quickly even if sales are still growing. The biggest success historically has been recognizing what AutoZone really is: a per-share compounding machine. When the business is stable and buybacks are consistent, EPS can compound even if revenue growth is modest. That's why AutoZone tends to be valued on the durability of its cash flow and its ability to keep shrinking the share count through cycles, not on flashy top-line growth. So what matters for the future? Watch three things. First, same-store sales quality. This quarter, comps were positive but below what the market wanted, and the company called out weather impacts. If those weather effects reverse, more maintenance after harsh conditions, you can see a stronger next quarter. Second, margin normalization. If the LIFO drag fades and the underlying gross margin holds up, investors regain confidence in the earnings path. Third, buyback intensity. AutoZone's long-term total return has been powered by repurchases, so the market will watch whether capital returns remain aggressive even through temporary margin noise. So the takeaway from this valuation slide is, at roughly $3.6 thousand, the stock is being repriced on near-term margin optics. But the long-term story is still about stable demand, strong execution, and per-share compounding. Upside comes from margins stabilizing and the market regranting the normal multiple. Downside comes if margin pressure persists and investors keep the stock closer to the lower valuation band. Let's go straight into the risks for AutoZone, because the bull case is simple. Stable demand plus aggressive buybacks equals strong per-share compounding. The risks are what can interrupt that formula. The biggest risk in 2026 is margin pressure. AutoZone's earnings are extremely sensitive to gross margin and operating costs. LIFO accounting impacts, higher shrink, wage inflation, and an unfavorable product mix can all compress margins. And even if sales hold up, margin compression can drive EPS down and force the stock's valuation multiple lower. Closely connected is the consumer environment for DIY. AutoZone benefits when people keep cars longer and repair more. But if budgets tighten, customers can delay non-urgent maintenance or trade down to cheaper parts. That can pressure ticket size and mix, especially in discretionary categories. Competition is another major risk. The aftermarket is crowded. O'Reilly and Advance are aggressive, online channels keep improving fulfillment, and OEM parts remain a threat for newer vehicles. If competitors push promotions, AutoZone may need to respond, which can hurt pricing discipline and margins. A key operational risk is execution in the commercial, do-it-for-me channel. That segment is important for growth, but it's also service-intensive. If delivery speed, in-stock levels, or customer relationships slip, share gains can stall. Inventory and supply chain are also a watch item. Parts availability matters. If supply disruptions return or if freight and vendor costs rise, the company can face higher costs or lost sales. Finally, there's buyback pacing risk. AutoZone's long-term EPS growth is heavily boosted by repurchases. If cash flow gets pressured or management slows buybacks, the per-share compounding engine weakens, and the market tends to re-rate the stock lower. AutoZone's 2026 risk is mainly a margin plus competition plus capital return story. Demand is resilient, but if margins compress or buybacks slow, the stock can derate even without a sales collapse. Now let's move to the opportunity side, because AutoZone's upside is not a classic growth story. It's a resilience plus compounding story, stable demand, strong execution, and a huge per-share tailwind from buybacks. In the short term, the biggest opportunity is a demand rebound after weather disruption. If an unusually harsh winter pulled down traffic, the reversal effect can help the next quarters. People still need repairs, and harsh weather can actually create more wear and tear that shows up later in parts demand. Second is margin normalization. AutoZone's recent margin pressure was influenced by factors like LIFO charges and cost dynamics. If those headwinds ease and the company improves shrink control and mix, gross margin can recover. Because the model has operating leverage, even a small margin improvement can lift EPS meaningfully. Third is growth in the commercial do-it-for-me channel. This is where the industry's long-term growth is concentrated. Professional shops need fast delivery and high in-stock levels. If AutoZone keeps improving hub coverage, delivery times, and service reliability, it can gain share and build a more recurring revenue stream. Another near-term lever is expense discipline. AutoZone is strong at store-level execution. If wage inflation cools and productivity initiatives work, the company can expand operating margin even with moderate sales growth. And the big compounding lever is buybacks. AutoZone has historically been one of the most aggressive repurchasers in retail. If cash flow remains strong and management continues buying back stock consistently, EPS can grow faster than sales, which is exactly why the market often rewards AutoZone with a premium multiple. Long-term, the opportunity is structural. The U.S. vehicle fleet is aging and consumers are keeping cars longer. Older cars require more maintenance, more replacement parts, and more frequent repairs. That creates durable demand for aftermarket parts regardless of the new car sales cycle. AutoZone also benefits from scale. A larger network improves availability, distribution efficiency, and vendor terms, which can widen the competitive moat over time. Add omnichannel improvements, buy online pickup in store, faster delivery, better DIY tools, and AutoZone can capture customers across both DIY and DIFM behavior. So the upside framework is demand durability from an aging fleet, expanding commercial penetration, margin recovery through better execution, and relentless buybacks that turn steady cash flow into long-term per-share compounding. Now let's look at analyst sentiment for AutoZone. The mix is strongly bullish, 4 strong buys and 17 buys, versus 6 holds with 0 sells and just 1 strong sell. This tells you Wall Street still views AutoZone as a high-quality compounder, resilient demand from the aging vehicle fleet, strong execution, and a powerful per-share tailwind from buybacks. The 6 holds usually reflect near-term caution on margins and the consumer, especially after a weaker quarter or temporary headwinds like weather and LIFO-related noise. Analysts may like the business but wait for a cleaner setup before upgrading. And the single strong sell is typically a valuation or timing call, basically saying the stock may already price in too much margin recovery or too much confidence in the next couple of quarters. So the takeaway is very supportive sentiment overall, with the debate focused on near-term margin optics, not on AutoZone's long-term business durability.